Lesson 21, Standard Score. Example 2. Calculate the standard score for the student with a 2.5 GPA in the Sierra College Elementary Statistics Student Survey and interpret the result. In order to calculate a standard score based off of data from a sample, we use the sample version of the standard score formula, which is given by t equals x sub I minus x bar divided by s sub x, where x sub I is the particular data value we're calculating the standard score for. In this example, we're calculating the standard score for the student with a 2.5 GPA. Thus, we will plug in the value of 2.5 in the spot for x sub I in the formula. The other values of the formula are the sample mean x bar and the sample standard deviation s. These can be calculated on the TI-84 calculator by entering the data into a list and then using the 1var stats command to calculate these statistics. The GPA in the Sierra College Elementary Statistics Student Survey was the data we're going to use, which referred to question 5 on the student survey. So in a previous example, we've already entered the GPA data into a list we named Q5. So to calculate the mean and the standard deviation, we could just press Stat, right arrow to Calc, press Enter to select 1var stats, and then to select the list, we press Second, List, and then arrow down till the cursor is next to the list we want to calculate the statistics for. In this case, Q5, question 5 on the Elementary Statistics Student Survey was the GPA. We select it by pressing Enter. And now, pressing Enter will calculate the statistics for this GPA data. So here we could see on the screen that the sample mean x bar is 3.277272727. We could use all those decimal places if we want, but if we're going to round off, we need to carry at least one more decimal place than the accuracy we need in the final answer for this problem. The standard score needs accuracy to 2 places after the decimal, so if we're going to round off our sample mean x bar, we need to carry at least 3 decimal places to help reduce the round off error. So here we could use an x bar of 3.277. For s sub x, the sample standard deviation, we've got 0.459961319. Again, we could use all these decimal places, but if we're going to round off, we need to carry at least one more decimal place than we need accuracy in the problem. And since the standard score requires 2 places after the decimal, we need to carry at least 3 places after the decimal for our sample standard deviation. So here we could use s sub x equals to 0.460. Now that we have all our values, we could plug them into the standard score formula by taking the data value, in this case the GPA of 2.5, subtract the mean, 3.277, and divide by the standard deviation, 0.460. Now we could calculate the standard score for the student with a 2.5 GPA by pressing left parenthesis, 2.5, subtract 3.277, right parenthesis, divide by 0.460. Enter. This gives us a result of negative 1.689130435. Being that we only need to round off the standard score to the nearest hundredth, we could write this result as negative 1.69. Now that we've calculated our standard score, we now need to interpret the result. The interpretation explains what this result means. Since the standard score is negative, this tells us that a student with a 2.5 GPA has a GPA that is below average for a Sierra College Elementary Statistics students. And the fact that the value here is the negative 1.69 is much closer to the negative 2, where you typically find the lower data values. We could consider this GPA to be a relatively low GPA compared to other Sierra College Elementary Statistics students. So, the student with a 2.5 GPA has a GPA that is 1.69 standard deviations below the mean GPA for a Sierra College elementary statistics student. Although this GPA is not considered unusually low, it is a rather low GPA for a Sierra College elementary statistics student.